Alright, hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we kind of have like another suggestion thread, but in a way it's like a lot of suggestions put in one post. It has gotten a lot of good kind of feedback, so we're gonna kind of see what it's all about and all of that. So I'm gonna link this down below if you wanna go check it out. Without further ado, let's see what they are talking about. So the content I would love to see. Added to Bannerlord after the full release would look something like this. So first we have is Feast and Feral Beast. Okay. So first add hunting. Obviously that's a feature that was in Warband. Then we have improves feast mechanics and core interaction. Again, Warband. Adds hunting dog companions. That was also Warband. And then we have new hunting gear trappings and new quests like wolf attacks. So before we do this, and I don't mean to be like the bearer of bad news, right? But the devs have stated that like they stated previously that they don't want this to be Warband 2, if that kind of makes sense, right? While a lot of people probably want all of this stuff to be added, the devs have stated that they're not going to add all the stuff that's in Warband to this game because it's not Warband 2. This is a whole new title, Bannerlord, right? Whether that's a popular opinion or a non-popular opinion, that's what the devs have stated, and that's kind of what they're going by. That's not saying they don't want to add this stuff. Maybe later on they will add it or they won't add it, but I think they have a different direction for the game, right? But in my opinion, I think feasts are going to be added eventually. I feel like that's a very big crowd favorite that even if they didn't want to, they would kind of, in a way be pressured into it. So I think this is going to happen. I don't know if hunting's gonna happen. What's it called? I don't know if this might happen because I think in the files there is what's it called? There is like a dog, what's it called, like model there. So I think this might happen. This I don't know if it's gonna happen. I don't know if the hunting and the wolf attacks are gonna happen. And I don't want to sound like grim. You know what I mean? I always want the best to happen, but or like the stuff that everyone wants to happen, right? But at the same time, that's what what was stated. The purpose of this content would be to enhance the player's experience around the court with new quests and court intrigue, and to add new game mechanics like hunting. Hunting would allow the player to be able to harvest meat and hide/furs. I can't read. They can be traded or used to help supply food for the troops. All right, so look, here's the thing. Before we move on, here's the thing. I have like a problem with quests, right? They're very, in my opinion, quests are very insignificant. They're only good for like the first 20 minutes of gameplay when you're at the beginning stage of the game. After that, quests are just a time waster in my honest opinion, right? I feel like there should be, I don't know how you would really improve them because you don't want to make them too powerful to the point where people don't want to do anything else but quests. But I feel like quests are kind of meaningless unless you want to just have the experience of trying them out and playing them, right? There's no real benefit to really doing them. Because you can do all that, like you can gain gold in faster ways. You could also gain reputation in faster ways, which are two things quests give you, right? So, yeah, that's my opinion, right? Maybe like, even in terms of like this hunting, if this was added as a quest, right? I feel like you should be able to harvest meat from it, right? But also you should have a chance of finding a legendary hide or legendary fur. And what I mean by legendary is like, let's say, from like a very, very rare animal you somehow find, or something of that nature, right? And I think all quests should have like this percent chance to like find something really good or get something really good when you finish the quest. I think it will make quests a lot more viable and a lot more people would try it. But that's just my opinion. Quests could be related to wolf attacks on village livestock and having to locate and hunt the wolves at a den. Wild animal encounters in the woods like stag, boar, and wolves if your party is small. New gear like hunting horns, clothing, and hunting bows and crossbows. Falcons and hunting dogs could be added as part of retinue that gives you a bonus at locating wild beasts when hunting. I think this would be a very cool kind of like mini thing to add to the game. I think hunting would improve the game. But like I said before, I don't know if it is going to be added. Like I always state that, if a modder is really up to the goal, he could make it happen as well. But yeah, And we have guilds and secret societies. So adds guilds, okay, adds merchant bank, player hideout. I think a player hideout would be really cool. Like a place where you can, actually like chill out, maybe kind of customize, build upon, something like that. I think that'd be pretty cool. I don't know if it fits like the Bannerlord kind of like gamescape, right? But I think it'd be pretty cool in my opinion. Then we have ship travel and sea trading, ship ownership and naval battles, new guild related quests like assassinations, new rogue gear. Okay. So in the previous video that we talked about yesterday, we talked about kind of like, like the rogue playstyle and how that would work, and kind of like the crime or bandit playstyle and how that's not really implemented into the game. And I think a lot of people do want to implement it into the game, because I have seen like a lot of these suggestions include this like aspect of the like the rogue slash bandit slash crime of Calradia. Like people want to play as that person, but it's not very viable. We have talked about ship travel and sea trading. We have talked about all of that. Definitely should be added, but I don't know if it will be. This content would expand on trade in the rogue underworld of Calradia. This would allow players to join guilds and get more involved in the black market of owning major trading fleets. It also add a merchant bank to allow the player to store wealth and earn interest on their investment, as well as take out loans. Alright, so kind of like a different thing, not even talking about this exact fact, but I think a big thing that the game is missing, in my opinion, is an end game. And now hear me out. I feel like the end game is very, very one-sided, and once you pass a certain amount of gold or a certain amount of like, troops, that it's kind of over. There's not much variety of things that you can do, especially once you get a lot of money. There's not much stuff that you can really spend it on. The only thing you really spend it on is making peace with someone who's way bigger than you, right? And even then, you can use your influence for that. So I feel like, I don't know. It's like I always want to add like end game features that provide a lot of gold or provide a lot of everything else, right? But at the same time, when you have like this excess of either gold or influence or something like that, you can't really even get rid of it. You can't spend it anywhere. You can't really do anything with it. It just stands there and just piles up. I feel like there should be a better way to obviously spend it end game, but I don't know how exactly that would be. It would be no purpose in my opinion. It's like if you think about like an MMO that lets you, what's it called? Like you get all the best stuff, but then after you get all the best stuff, there's no point to playing the game anymore. You know what I mean? Like there's no like, you get all the end game stuff, and then it's like, what now? You know what I mean? I'm the best. Nothing can really destroy me. There's no risks. There's no reward. What's the point? That's kind of like how I feel about the end game in Bannerlord. Unless you're trying to take over the map, like that's the only viable thing to do. End game in my opinion. So yeah, this doesn't really have to do with this topic, but that's kind of what I've been thinking about. Don't stiff them, as they are the best assassins and bounty hunters and will catch you slipping when you decide to enter a settlement with a small retinue. Maritime travel and combat will be added to allow the player to sail and fly on the high seas of Calradia. Players will also be able to build a hideout that will allow them to store all their loot from all their thievery. Alrighty. The Raven Banner. So adds Nord playable faction. See, look. Look. This is kind of what I see is like, this guy, he really, and there's nothing wrong with the fact that he wants this, but I feel like he just wants a more enhanced Warband experience, right? And a lot of people do want it as well. Like, I want it too, in a way, right? But, the Nord faction, the Viking conquest thing that we got in Warband, very similar to this, obviously add the Nord playable faction, Northern settlements, just that whole experience, but in Bannerlord. And like I said before, I don't think they want to go for that, you know what I mean? But that doesn't mean the content they put out can be, will be bad because it's not this content, if that kind of makes sense, right? Like, same way we got the DLC of the Viking Conquest, right? What if we get another DLC from a whole different faction talking about whole different things? We have no clue what's going to happen, right? So, and that might be amazing as well. So, yeah. In a way, I would love to see this in Bannerlord, but in the same time, I don't want them to just redo that and make it a little bit better, right? I'd rather them find a whole new, concept, try to work on that, and try to make something new that people are going to enjoy, if that kind of makes sense, right? So then we can enjoy this part if we're in Warband, and another part if we are in Bannerlord. That kind of makes sense, right? And I think, like I said before, I think this will take a very, very long time, but I'm pretty sure farther down the line, if this doesn't get put into the game, which I don't think it's going to get put into the game. I don't think they want to copy and paste from one game to another, in my opinion. But I think that somebody will eventually, or even a team of modders will eventually try to tackle this and make this a thing. I'm pretty sure, almost like 100%. The northern winds have shifted from the Northlands, and rumors start to spread from a warlord from the north by the name of Gundig Harry Breeks. Okay, has claimed birthright to the whole of Calradia. The event will set off a large-scale invasion of Calradia that few will be prepared for when the Nord parties terrorizing the Northern Sea and lands of the north. Improve shield wall combat to make infantry more viable when organized and tough to crack with just archers and cavalry alone. This could also add AI companions to faction leaders like a legendary champion or group, or unique bodyguard that enhances the leader's fighting prowess on the battlefield. Again, I don't disagree. Would be very cool to see, but from previous stuff that the devs have stated, I think this would probably have to be a mod. And like I said before, I don't think it's bad that this might have to be a mod. I think that, let's say instead of them adding this, they add like something to do with the Azerai, where the whole landscape changes to like that part of the map instead of the Sturken part of the map. Something like that. That kind of makes sense, right? Like they could do a whole different thing, in my opinion. I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but hopefully you guys understand what I mean. Then we have Legendary Smiths of Calradia. So adds Legendary Smiths to the game to commission work. New Legendary Weapons will quest to obtain them. New Legendary Armor sets will quest to obtain them. Thamaskene Weapons rebalanced. Armor Smithing added. Adds Legendary Gear to some Lords. Alrighty. Again, bearer bad news. They're not working on this. They've stated that they are not really working on it. That they said that it's not impossible that they might start working on it, but as of right now, they don't plan on doing this. Again, here's what kind of I feel like I'm being like the bearer of all bad news, but I'm just trying to be realistic and give you guys kind of like the information from the devs and also kind of like my opinion kind of interjected in there. But you know what I mean, like because I've seen pretty much, I would say like a good 90% of what the devs have said since the launch of the game till now, and obviously I've made videos on it, so I'm just trying to spread that to let you guys know. But like I said before, again, great idea, but this will add to my kind of the stance that I take, that there's not much to do with them once you get it. Like once you get into the end game, right? Let's say you get to the end game, right? You make all this, then you can sell this for so much, or you can do it, and there's no point to it. You're done. You won. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And the whole smithing thing, they are doing an overhaul to it. Just to let you guys know, they are doing it. It's taking time. Obviously, they don't want to just let go. They don't want to just like post some random hot fixes like, oh, we took this whole price of this one item down, then we took this price item down. You know what I mean? Like that's just like little patchwork. That's like little band-aids on a gashing wound, in my opinion. So I think that, or gushing, I said gushing wound. So they are doing an overhaul. So I think that that is the best thing that they can do. So we're gonna see when that does release, but there's no ETA at this point. Alrighty, so Legendary Smiths of Calradia will add Legendary Smiths that can be commissioned to force some of the finest weapons and armors in the game of various quantities, like Masterwork or Legendary. Quests could be added to track down some of the legendary weapons and gears from the past, like weapons similar to the Excalibur, as an example. Thamaskene weapons should be rebalanced and be more like Ulfbert weapons, or like Valerian Steel from Game of Thrones, basically lighter, faster, and superior handling. Armor smithing adds to the game so that player can craft their own armor for him and his companions. The idea behind this content is that if you have enough money, you can just commission a smith to build you the best stuff and come back and get in a couple of weeks. I've created mods for years, but I just don't have time for it anymore. Hopefully Tailworlds has some awesome content designers and puts out some great content that expands on the current game. Yes, I agree. Look, like I said before, great ideas. I think, again, not trying to be the bearer of bad news. A lot of these will probably have to be mods. That's just what we got from the developers. And like I said before, that's not like saying, oh, well, since it's not added in the game, they're bad developers. No, they made it clear that this is, a different title. They don't want to just copy the first game. They don't want to copy Warband and make this a Warband Warband 2. And again, it's not a bad thing. You know what I mean? You don't always have to, just because something's very successful, right? You don't have to just copy it over and make a second version, then a third version, then a fourth version. That's how you end up with EA. And they're, copy and paste every year. You know what I mean? So just, I know it might sound grim, and people are like, oh, well, I waited for Warband 2. It is what it is, and you never know what is to come once the game is all finished, polished, and has all the DLC in it. You know what I mean? We're going to have to see how that game looks, right? It's hard to judge Warband. Again, it's been out for so long and has DLC and is finalized and has so much more work put into it to this game that, is an EA. There is no DLC out yet. It's not finalized. It's not even fully released. So it's a very hard comparison to make until all is said and done, if that kind of makes sense, right? But yeah, so we'll learn to mod then. Oof. He is a modder. Oof. Oh man. But yeah, I'm gonna end it off there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it was informative. Hopefully you got some more info on certain things in the game and if they're coming or not, right? But yeah, ask me any questions, any concerns, and like always, stay safe.